Yep. Ben, please, you can start now.
Okay, great. Very good morning. Our prospective students in MSc or already accepted. You've accepted. Congratulations, you made a very big decision, and we are very happy to have you in the MSc department for 2021. Today, we are very excited to share with you what your curriculum at MSc will offer, and hopefully for those who haven't decided, we can give you more insights and experience shared by our friendly and warm MSc department students, student panelists today. So with me, I have Professor Daniel Blackwood, who is going to share with us curriculum, and we have Dr. Vincent Lee, who is our outreach coordinator and also lecturer at MSc department. So welcome. All right, Vincent, we can go to the next slide.
Okay. You see it?
Okay, yes. All right. So first of all, let me start with a question, right? Can anybody tell me who this person is? What's his name? If you know the answer from a previous talk that I gave, don't spill the beans. If you don't know, feel free to enter into the chat group. Anybody knows who is this? If you want to speak, you can even raise your hand.
If you are shy, you can just raise your hand. I mean, virtually.
Okay, great. We have the first answer, CEO of Google. All right, so that's great. He's the CEO of Google, and his name is Sundar Pichai. Right. In fact, Google is now named Alphabet. By the way, it's one of the most valuable companies in the world. And so the next question is, Vincent.
Yeah, I have.
Next question is, what was his degree in?
Launch poll.
And
so
we have a poll. Yeah, Vincent, go ahead.
I've launched the poll. You can go to the poll, select the answers. So you please don't choose material science because this is a material science open house.
That's right.
Just feel free to.
Question. Yeah, it could be totally a.
Yeah.
So Vincent, you have something blocking your poll window.
Yeah, my poll window. I only have one screen. Sorry.
It's fine. All right, we have.
And them. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think everybody have responded. All right. So we have. I think Vincent, can you share the results?
So, we do not have a. I mean, in the poll we do not have the answers, but the answer is material science and engineering.
That's right. You can share the result already, right?
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Okay. So looks like everybody got. Okay, the majority, more than 65%, said MSc. Well, congratulations, you got the right answer, right? And there are others who have said mechanical engineering, computer science, system information. Well, those are completely quite off, right? And it turns out that the highest paid CEO in the world, I'm not sure who he was once the highest paid. I'm not sure other CEOs have surpassed him, but he actually has a degree in material science, right? So, this is the next slide.
Okay.
So I think material science, is really quite central to understanding the world. And I think it gives you tremendous breadth and also depth if you choose to. And so I think that's probably why, Sundar Pichai decided to take material science. In fact, he's actually did metallurgy, right? Studying metals for his undergraduate degree, right? And so the point I wanted to make was that, material science degree, doesn't narrow you into any special area if you choose not to, right? And that's what's nice about studying material science. And also, of course, we also have very nice friendly faculty, right, to guide you through the whole undergraduate experience. So today we shall first start with, so this is our agenda. We will start with a video by the Dean of Engineering, Professor Aaron Tien, who will share with you a bit about Faculty of Engineering at NUS. And then later on, we'll follow with Professor Dan Blackwood, who will talk about MSc curriculum, some of the special degree programs we have. And guess what? We do have computer science minor and major programs that you can take, right? And so we will have sharing by a double degree MSc student later on. And then we we'll talk about research as well and learning opportunities for those who are interested to go deeper into material science and engineering. And then we, of course, I think most importantly, everyone is very curious about what undergraduate life is. One thing for sure is entirely different from what you're experiencing at JC or in the secondary schools, all right? Then we'll lastly, we'll end with a Q&A session. All right, Vincent, go ahead. I think I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Benjamin T from the Material Science Department. I'm the head of, I'm the deputy head for outreach and coordinating all the programs related to the department and its and how we reach out to students about MSc and raising the awareness of MSc. It's a critical department. I think from the poll, we do realize that not many people realize that material science can be a very lucrative degree as well, right? Compared to other degrees like computer science, etc. All right, Vincent, go ahead. Thanks.
Yep.
Engineering is about solving some of the world's toughest problems. But the challenges engineers face are becoming more complex. So at NUS Engineering, we are transforming how we train the engineers of the future. Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm the Dean of NUS Engineering. As engineering challenges evolve, engineers need to draw on an ever broader range of skills and knowledge. So we have reimagined our curriculum. For students starting in August 2021, you will have a bigger range of options than ever before. We think of it as your opportunity to build your own degree. You have the flexibility to study both the traditional engineering disciplines while broadening your skills in other areas. NUS Engineering is already ranked in the top 10 globally for engineering. It's #1 in Singapore for graduate employability. We have a world-class faculty who are global leaders in cutting-edge research, such as biomedical engineering, medical technology, quantum engineering, and advanced materials. Over the past year, many of our faculty have stepped up to join the fight against COVID-19, developing new testing kits, therapeutics, and protection equipment designed to keep frontline healthcare workers safe. As an NUS engineering student, you will engage with and learn from these experts. We have access to the latest digital technologies and labs. From day one, you'll be exposed to hands-on engineering using robotics and drones, and work on other cool projects that will build your foundational knowledge. NUS Engineering is at the heart of a global network with exchange programs with leading engineering schools around the world, strong ties with NUS Overseas College Program, and industry connections that offer access to a world of exciting internships. At NUS Engineering, we're here to help you discover your passions, to build your skills to the best you can be, and go where you want to go. So please come join us. We're looking forward to building the future of engineering with you. Engineering is
Okay, great. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video by Professor Aaron Tian. I think he really describes, what NUS Engineering has to offer. And I think it's really a very exciting period with some of the new degree options that we are giving you. And Professor Dan Blackwood here will share with you some of the curriculum at MSc and what you can expect to look forward to. All right, Professor Dan, please.
Okay, then I will start. I'm Dan Blackwood. I'm originally from the UK, but I've been in Singapore 25 years, so I arrived before most of you were born, which just makes me feel old, I'm afraid. So what is MSc? Right? Basically, what we look at is processing of materials, the structure of materials, the properties of materials, and performance. But we're central to all the other types of engineering. You can see from this diagram, MSc is a mixture of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, bioengineering, chemical engineering. And we also have the sciences. We've got chemistry, physics, and life sciences. So we're a very multidisciplinary subject in ourselves, which actually it turns out when you look for jobs, you have a very broad choice of jobs as well. And that's probably going to be important in the near future with this industrial 4.0, no one really knows where the best area to work in will be. Can we go to the next slide, please? Or do I have control? Okay. Our degree is a 4-year degree, direct honors, and we're accredited under what's known as the Washington Accord. The Washington Accord is a number of countries come together to recognize each other's degrees. So your degree is recognized in a number of countries around the world. It includes the US, Chinese Taipei, Hong Kong, New Zealand, Australia. There are a number, this is not the full list, okay? This is perhaps the ones that you might consider working in the future. You'll see on the date here that it actually only seems to appear to 2020. That's because we went through the accreditation process again last March. We've just been through it. They didn't raise any major issues, so I'm actually extremely confident we will now be accredited for the next 5 years, which will cover up to the period that you are going to graduate. Okay, can I have the next slide, please? Right, you might have heard that FOE has been bringing out a new curriculum. It's basically a new structure combining the FOE and School of Design and School of Design and Environment. And so FOE, School of Design and Environment, and some industrial partners have come up with a common core curriculum, and that takes up about 37% of your degree. Your major takes up another 37, which turns out to be 50 modules. And then you'll have 25% of unrestricted module space. Okay, when it says 10 modules, that's an average of 10 modules. You need 160 modular credits, MCs, to graduate, and typically a module has 4 MCs. Okay? But some modules are actually more, some are less, as you'll see as you go through your degree system. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so your major is the bit in the purple on the left. And you will see that in the first 2 years, you're actually only doing 4 modules related directly to material science and engineering. So the other modules that you're doing in that year will be the same modules will be done by other engineering students. They might not do them in the same order as you, but they will do the modules eventually. The class sizes can't be too big, so we have to stagger which students do which modules at any one time. You also see that I've highlighted one in the bottom right-hand corner, which is a general education module. I'll talk more about general education in a moment. That's one that if you don't have A-level physics or A-level chemistry and you need to do a bridging module, you would need to do one bridging module if you don't have either of those. That's where you would slot that in, and then you would do that general education module later with some of the unrestricted. You also see there's a lot of gray space, which is unrestricted modules. Those you can basically do anything you like. But you can also use that space to take a second major. It's enough space to do a second major. There's 40 MCs worth there, and that's what you need for a second major or second minor, or you can use it for a specialization. The main difference between your first major and your second major in terms of space is actually, you'll see there's an industrial attachment where you go out and spend 6 months for industry. And there's either a research project or a design project. You don't have, so if you did 2 majors in different engineering, so if you did material science and engineering and say biomedical engineering, you'd only do 1 research project, and that would count towards both. Okay. So can I go to the next one? In addition to that, you can have double degree programs. There's a little bit of confusion. What's a double degree and a double major? A double major is actually a single degree. You only have 1 degree. If you do a double degree, you get 2 degrees on your certificates. Those though take longer. You need more MCs. You need 180 for, if it's a double degree honors in one and normal degree in the other, it's 180. If you want double honors, then it becomes 200 MCs. Now you can do those, at the moment we have those, you can do them with economics, or you can do it with business administration. Typically they take 4.5 to 5 years, but there's nothing to stop you from designing your own double degree. There's something called a student-initiated double degree programs. And if you were to go to the NUS website, you'd be able to find links that will guide you to that. We also have the Material Science and Engineering degree plus Doctor of Medicine. What that is after you've completed your degree, you would then join Duke NUS and become a medical doctor. It's a long program and it's highly competitive, but it is one possible track. We do have students that are on that at the moment. Perhaps I can go to the next slide. Okay, and I said there's plenty of space to do double majors or minors. And most students, they actually don't declare that they want to do a second major or second minor to under their first or second years. If you want to do it, you need to do it before the beginning of your 5th semester. So that's the beginning of your third year. So, but particularly probably a good time to decide is after your first year. If you can recall the schedule I showed you, you'd actually will have only done 2 MSc courses in there at that time. So at that time, it's quite easily to build on a second major as well. If you go to the website, NUS website, and just type in minors or second majors or double majors, you will come to these websites. I don't know if we can click on them, whether that will, can we click on maybe the major one? I don't know whether
Yeah, I can't do that because I only have one screen.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what would do, it would take you to a web page, right? And you'll find there's a very long list of second majors that you can do and minors. So you can do things in business, computer science, economics, accountancy, in the arts. One of the nice things about being at a comprehensive university, NUS is really the only comprehensive university there is in Singapore, is that you actually do have that option to do at least a minor in a whole range of fields. There's also another advantage of a comprehensive university. If you stay on campus, you will have friends who are lawyers, you will have friends that are in business, you have friends in the arts, and these are actually going to be your network in the future. And so that can become very important as you go through your further career. It may not seem like it at the moment because you're just starting, but it is actually a major advantage of going to NUS over other local universities. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Yeah.
Okay, or you may also decide to do a specialization. At the moment in our department, we offer specializations in polymeric and biomedical materials. There's been quite a few students have started to consider that more popular, probably because of COVID. There's also nanostructured materials and nanotechnology. You probably know that nano just means 10 to the minus 9, it means small, but there are some very interesting effects that start to happen. But you really need to know a little bit of quantum mechanics before you'll start understanding why these effects are so unique, which is why you'll do that in the later years. And we're also at the moment bringing in a specialization in functional intelligent materials, which is basically going to be used using machine learning and AI methods to design new materials. You may be aware that we have a Nobel Prize winner in our department, and this is his specialized area. And he's keen on using AI methods to develop new materials for the future. Now, to do a specialization, you need 20 MCs, and that would include your FYP project. And later I'll show that in the MCs you need for MSE, you already have 8 MCs worth of electives. So you have 8 MCs worth of electives, 8 MCs for the final year project. So you'd only need another 4 MCs. So you'd only have to use up your UEM space of 4 MCs. Yeah, FYP stands for final year project. So in fact, if you wanted to do a second major and a specialization, you'd only actually have to do 164 MCs, just 4 MCs extra. So you could easily squeeze that into your to your 4 years. I should have said when I talked about the majors and the minors, a minor is also 20 MCs and the major is 40 MCs. The second major is 40 MCs. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please?
So this is a video.
This is the video. Okay, we actually have a very nice labs and hopefully we can show you that via the video.
Okay, let me start the video.
Material science and engineering is all about innovation. It brings together the disciplines of physics, chemistry, biomedical, and engineering to develop completely new materials custom designed for specific roles. For example, material science is playing a vital role in efforts to combat the COVID-19 pandemic through the development of new tools and technologies for antiviral research and treatment development.
Advanced materials like graphene or functional intelligent materials we're working on now offer unprecedented opportunities to reshape our life. At NUS MSc, our students are taught by faculty who are global leaders in their field. You will have access to world-class lab facilities and get hands-on experience with the latest materials technologies. Most importantly, you will learn how to apply them to solve some of the most pressing real-world challenges.
I chose to study material science and engineering because the combination of engineering and science in solving problems appealed to me. The curriculum combines both theory and practical learning and has provided me with numerous learning opportunities and industry exposure. This was most evident in my internship at AMD, where I was assigned to develop a sample preparation methodology for semiconductors.
At NUS Materials Science and Engineering, we focus on providing an agile education that combines both theoretical and experimental training. You will be exposed to the full range of engineering disciplines, and you will get a chance to specialize in one of our 3 pathways that fit your goals and interests. Our exchange and internship programs, along with a vibrant campus life, will ensure you make the most of your university experience and prepare you for a fulfilling career ahead.
NUS Material Science graduates are highly sought after for their interdisciplinary background and training. Our graduates have gone on to work in a wide range of industries: aerospace, defense, energy, pharmaceuticals, electronics, and the banking industry. Some have even gone on to use their experience to launch their own startup companies.
Many challenges we face in the near future will not be solved without new and better materials. Our commitment to teaching excellence will provide you with the expertise you need to build a career as an innovative future leader in material science and engineering. Come, engineer your passion with us.
Okay, so in MSE, we focus on both the how and the why, right? So you need to know how to do things and why to do things. It's always been those who know how will always get a job. Those who know why will also have a job, but those who know how and why will be the leader. With luck, you'll one day become leader of a company like Google. And then remember us when you have all those millions to give us some charity. Okay, can we go to the next slide? So this gives some idea of the companies that employ our students. There's ST Engineering. Google do employ our students. I'm afraid it's not a direct contact through their CEO. So there's traditional engineering, ST Engineering, Micron, quite a lot have gone to Micron. There's also those related to the bio side, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, that's another big chemical company. Then we have government agencies, for example, National Environment Agency, A-STAR. A lot of our students who like to do research end up in the A-STAR research institutes, but you also see that they go into the banks as well. And we've even had some go into the tax office. which is always a little worrying that your ex-students are looking at your tax affairs. We don't mind that. I mean, we find that students that are trained in engineering, particularly material science and engineering, do well in the business side, because you have an analytical mind to problem solving, and a lot of business is involved in problem solving. At the moment, our median salary in our last round of graduates was 3,900, and over 90% got some form of employment within the first 6 months. And also, when they do a survey, all these rankings, NUS Material Science and Engineering is still, in Singapore, is still the highest ranked for employment reputation. So employers still like our degrees. Can I go to the next slide? I think that may have been, yes, okay, that was my last one, thank you. I'd be happy to take any questions if you type them in. I will then try and answer them.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Dan. It was wonderful sharing, and for the attendees, hope you got a better idea now about material science engineering. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them into the Q&A chat button right at the bottom of your Zoom screen at any time. And as you enter them, we will start to answer them at the end of the session towards the Q&A later on. All right. So definitely, I'm sure you have a lot of questions for Professor Daniel Blackwood. Please enter them in the Q&A if you have any. And for those who have not formed any questions yet, don't worry. I'm sure you have those questions as you hear our student speakers speak. Right. So Vincent, do you want to introduce our student speakers?
Okay. So I think we are moving to the second part of this open house. So for this second part, we'll be focusing solely on the students' life and also how the student, their experience in after joining material science and engineering. Right. So our first speaker for today, our student speaker for today is Jiajun. She's our second year student. She's doing a double major, both in material science and management. So for Jiajun, we have two questions. Okay, the first question is your experience. What is your experience doing double major with material science and management? Right. So more in particular is why do you choose material science over management as the main major? All right. So can we invite Jiajun to speak?
Okay, sure. Hello, good morning, everyone. I will share my screen first.
Let me stop sharing.
I think Dr. Vincent, you have to enable.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, please.
Okay, so everyone can see my screen, right? Okay. So good morning, professors, prospective students, and my fellow batchmates. So I'm Jiajun, and today I'll be sharing on my experience as a double major student in material science and management. So I'll first start off this presentation more about myself. So I'm a year 2 material science and management major student. So a bit background of me is like I enjoy volunteering. I volunteer during my free time, and I volunteer on a weekly basis. So I like to join CCAs that do volunteering work like Rotaract Club. Besides that, I also help out with the student club, the MSE club, and also MSE camp. So I came So be wondering why I chose NUS MSE. Firstly, is because I've been very interested in science since secondary school. I took up the triple science, and even in JC where I took chemistry and physics, I really enjoyed them. So when I was scrolling through the catalog of the list of possible courses that I could take in NUS, material science was the one that captured my attention because of how balance of like all the sciences you can experience in NUS MSE. And also because I have seniors who are from NUS MSE, they shared with me their experience on like nanomaterials and polymers. So at the point of time in JC, I was already very interested in MSE. And also a lot of my relatives tell me that it's a good major because of like the median salary and stuff. Yeah. And also why NUS is because of the small cohort and the high prof to student ratio. So now why I took on a double major is because I wanted something different. I wanted something different from my peers, because at the point of applying for uni, I thought everyone would graduate with like a bachelor in engineering. So I wanted something different, and I wanted something that's contrasting from my first major. And when I looked through the list, management was the only one that was very different from engineering. And also because I was interested in business modules, like how a lot of news that we see on nowadays, like how businesses are coping with the COVID-19 is actually related to like what we are learning in our business module. So that's also something I'm very interested in. So I chose management. And a lot of people, when they're choosing for courses, they'll be deciding between a double major and a double degree. So for me, I chose a double major over double degrees because I wanted to have more time to experience the school life, like CCAs. That's why I joined quite a few CCAs. And I also do not want to, like, because of schoolwork and do not have time for my volunteering. Yeah. So now my experience in MSE is that I feel that MSE peers are more willing to share their knowledge. Everyone, because we are a small cohort, so like I feel it's like when everyone is willing to share their knowledge, it provides a very healthy learning environment. And I give, every time when let's say I have a question and I ask my peers, most of the time I get an answer from them. It's not like people don't want to share with you. And I'm pretty sure that you have heard from like either your seniors or like your relatives that business modules or like the business faculty are more like competitive, and that is really true because business modules are very, how should I say, like there are a lot of like class participation. And at the start of my double major journey in management, I have to say I'm a very shy person, and I'm not really willing to speak up. But then there's this class participation component, so it's a bit like no choice, I have to speak up. So within these 2 years, I can say that with a lot of practice in class participation, I became like more thick-skinned and I'm more willing to share, speak up on my opinions. And also for business modules, there are more, almost every business modules that I took, there are presentations. So it also can help you to be more prepared with presentation. And some, I think for, let's say your MLE level 1000 modules are presentations. So I feel that this, like taking up a business module and having like few presentation modules can help you to sharpen your skills in this presentation area. So if you're worried that, because I mentioned that business modules are more competitive, if you are worried that it will pull down your CAP, I think don't need to be so worried at the start. It's because we are not graded on the same bell curve as business students for the introductory modules, which is like your level 1000 modules. So those modules those modules code with an alphabet at the end, you are not graded on the same bell curve. So if you want to try to see if you are interested or if you are really good at business modules, you can try to take these introductory modules, and it gives you a good gauge if you want to continue to pursue this as a second major. So a little bit more about second major in management. So if you are like me, let's say if you're like me and you're offered the second major at the point of admission, you can slowly take your modules. You do not need to complete your 4 level 1000 modules by the end of year 2. So, but let's say if you have not given the second major in management at the point of admission, you need to complete 4 level 1000 modules at the end of year 2. So you have to use your unrestricted elective modular credits, like what Prof. Blackwood have mentioned just now, to take up your business module. And I think for business, it's very fun, is because you can choose which areas you want to focus more on. So there are like finance, marketing, supply chain, business analytics, and more. So you can scan the QR code on this slide, and we'll bring you to the business page. So you can read up more about this second major. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jia-Jun. So I'm not sure whether, actually I'm very curious. I'm not too sure about business modules. So is there a accounting module that you have to take?
yeah.
So how do you feel about the accounting modules? Is it like, did you all learn anything about like how? Because I'm not too sure. Because when I look at it this way, like accounting courses might be in danger right now because of the accounting software that are available in the market, right? So eventually accountants are going to be, I'm not sure, that's my thinking. In my opinion, they may be in deep trouble in the future once this AI were to come out. So did you learn anything like from your chat with your lecturers or professors about the future prospect of accountants or accounting?
Okay, so
career?
like for this double major, like I mentioned on my last slide, we are given like a wide range of areas that we can focus on. So for accounting modules, I think accounting modules is only provided at the level 1000 level. Above level 1000 level, there isn't any accounting modules. So I took the accounting modules is more like to have a taste of it because my mom is an accountant. So I just want to,
I see.
yeah. So let's the things we learn like the bank statements, all this and income statements. So when I see my mom doing it, then I kind of like can relate and sometimes I help her also. So yeah, it's just, I think it's a very fun module. Although it can be like a bit headache, like you have to balance everything up at the end. But yeah, it's very fun.
So I'm just curious. So okay, that's nice. So let's I'm going to be very cruel now. So if you were to choose material science and accounting, which one do you prefer?
I definitely prefer material science because
Material science?
yeah, I'm
Hey,
a very
don't say
science.
material science because we are here. It's supposed to be an informal one. You can
yeah,
just speak your mind. Don't worry.
Yeah, because I'm
We'll
a
destroy the
very,
recording.
very science and math person. So
I
when
see.
yeah, I do enjoy MLE mods more than business modules. Although business module, and also because like I feel that MLE mods are more flexible. It's not like you have to attend this lecture at this timing because let's say we have our own student life. So, but for like business modules, I have to say that they are more competitive. So not all professors will provide lecture recordings. Tutorials will not be recorded. Even if they're recorded, they won't be uploaded for you to see. Yeah. So I feel that material science provide more flexibility and I personally enjoy that. Yeah.
Okay. That's really really interesting. Thank you, Jiajun. I think that's basically if we have if our audience have any questions, do feel free to ask Jiajun later on after we finish this session. Okay, so let me just share my screen again. So before we move on to Jody, we have a short clip. So recently our material scientists, they have developed a material artificial soil that can harvest plant in Mars. So we have a collaboration with NASA. So this is just a short clip on it. Okay, let's enjoy it. Can you see the screen first? I don't want to look foolish, right, and appear in the newspaper. Can you see it? Hello?
We can.
Okay, great.
It is a question we all want an answer to. But if we are ever going to get to Mars to find out, we will need to have something to eat. Mars astronauts can't just take pre-packed food with them. They will have to grow it themselves. These hydrogels could provide the answer. A hydrogel is a compound material capable of absorbing and holding large amounts of water. Our hydrogels are made from metal salts, copper and cobalt. They are especially good at absorbing water from the air. Cobalt-based gel, for example, can absorb 450% of its weight in water, and copper gel can hold 300%. Our hydrogel was initially developed for use in a self-sustaining smart farming system in areas affected by water and food scarcity. But after we published our paper, HI-SEAS became interested in using the gel to grow food on space missions, including future missions to Mars.
I'm going to do the first experiment. I'm using box 1 of the hydrogel.
So Ben, what kind of plants did you grow?
So I grew specifically small microgreen sunflower, also something called upland cress. These are perfect for space exploration because we have a very limited amount of space to grow plants up there, but these microgreens are still packed with nutrients of vitamins and minerals.
Have you tasted the plant that you have grown?
Yes, they were delicious. We were also able to add them to some of our meals, which were all freeze-dried ingredients. So to be able to add these fresh ingredients was such a huge benefit for our crew. Our entire crew loved them. And I was told by some of my crew members that they were a little peppery, but had a good mouthfeel.
NASA says it wants to send astronauts to Mars by 2030. So hydrogels like this, developed at NUS, could soon help feed astronauts and go where no salad has gone before.
Okay, I think that's a very interesting video. I hope all of you all may agree with us. Okay, so so it actually showcased that in NUS material science, we are not only working on typical materials that you can imagine, like metal ceramics or polymer, right? So other than this, we can develop materials that can be used in like urban farming, for instance. We can address like solar. How do we harvest solar energy, right? Or even build batteries that can rival Tesla. So there are a lot of research opportunity in NUS material science. Perhaps I would like to invite Jody to share with us her experience in the research and learning opportunity at material science. Jody, please.
Okay, thank you. I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Can you see my screen? Okay, thank you. So yeah, so this is just my sharing. I'm Jody. I'm a year 2 MSE student and from the Engineering Scholars Program. So today I'll just talk a bit about my learning opportunities and research in NUS MSE. Yeah, so just a bit about me. I'm in year 2 now. I'm part of the E-Scholars Program, which is a scholarship program from FOE that allows for a 3+1 year bachelor's plus master's program. I'm currently interning in applied materials, which is in the R&D sector. I mean the R&D department, and applied materials is from the semiconductor industry. So last semester, I completed a research project on shadow energy generators, which I will talk a bit more about later. I also stayed in RC4 under the U-Town College program, and I'll be staying in UTR next sem. So this is just some pictures of me and my friends. Yeah. Okay, so first I'll talk about my learning journey with MSE. So the MSE curriculum is divided into lectures, tutorials, and labs. So it kind of has a theory versus practical knowledge aspect where we learn theory in lectures, apply them maybe some application during tutorials, but labs we really get the hands-on understanding of how it works. So for me, I enjoyed lab modules the most because I felt like through this we get some hands-on experience to apply what we learn in our lectures and tutorials. Yep. So the lab modules and the skills that I've learned actually helped me a lot for my internship experience because we do R&D work. So skills such as designing experiments, like coming up with hypotheses and trying to get to the root cause of problems really helped me. And the understanding of like theory behind certain processes and measurements that we learn during our lab sessions, I was able to convert it to my internship experience. Yeah, so there's some photos of the things we do in lab, and this was my lab group in year 1. Yeah. So moving on, I'll just talk a bit about my research experience. So I did research under the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, otherwise known as Europe. It's actually a grade 3 module that allows you to do a 1 or 2 semester long research project under a professor in department. So it's grade free, so it's quite stress-free. Like you get the time to just explore your interests. You don't have to worry about, oh, okay, I need to get A for this, not my cap will go down. Yeah, so I felt that was a really good opportunity. Yeah, so my research topic was on shadow energy generators, which is under Prof. Tan, which was the professor we saw in the previous video. And basically what shadow energy generators does is that it harnesses the changes in work function of a metal when sputtered onto doped silicon to generate potential difference and current across the cell. So during our project, we just generated some of the working cells through sputtering of gold onto the wafers, and we worked on applications for it. So my project, we did a prototype for contactless lift buttons using an Arduino circuit. Yeah, so this is the cell. And this is some of the preliminary circuits that we have. And this is our final product that we just wrote a report on. Yeah, so I felt that this was a really good experience because it gave me something to talk about during my interviews. Yeah, like, oh, okay, I did this project and this was what we did and what I learned from it. And particularly for myself, because sputtering was used for the production of these generators, and it was very similar to what I'm currently doing now, like in my department that does physical vapor deposition. Yeah, so basically there's a lot of very transferable knowledge that I could talk about during the interviews, and even now today at while I'm interning, there's a lot of things that are still very similar to what I did in the project. So I felt that this was a very good stepping stone for me into my current internship program. Yeah. Oh, it's also not a compulsory program. So if you're not into the whole research experience and whatnot, then it's okay if it's all right for you not to take up this, but you usually can take this usually in year 2. I think most people do this in year 2. Yeah. Okay, just moving on to some other extracurricular activities that I'm involved in. One of them is Project E, which is an outreach project by my own NUS E-Scholars department to prospective students. So as a social media head, I ran an Instagram page. It's NUS E-Scholars if you're interested and you want to take a look. And Reddit pages to advertise and feature e-scholars, as well as answer frequently answered questions. Yeah, so it's just some pictures of the things I'm doing. Yeah, and I also play tchoukball. I started playing RC4 back in my RC, so that's my RC4 team. And now I train with the varsity team. Yeah, my varsity team. Yeah, so after talking about this, I just like to wrap up with why MSE. So I feel that MSE grants you a unique and flexible experience to learn different things. As mentioned by Prof. Blackwood earlier on, there's a range of technical electives, specializations, second majors, minors, like Jacqueline mentioned, that we can engage in based on your interests and what you want to do. The industrial attachment also gives you a very good opportunity to experience what working life is like and gain some industrial experience. And I think one thing really good about MSE, and I guess the whole Faculty of Engineering, is that they give you one semester specifically to do this attachment. So instead of in maybe other faculties where they don't have this compulsory internship, that they have to find summer internships, we get the whole 6 months to even to 9 months if you want to extend to summer to do this attachment. And I think especially for very technical roles, sometimes 3 months is very hard for you to learn a lot of things. But when you're in a company for 6 to 8 months, you can really make full use of your experience there. And that was something that I think personally I really benefited from. And lastly, final year project. I'm not there yet, but talking to maybe some seniors and alumni, they felt that the final year project was also another chance for them to pick up maybe another area of it, to explore another area of interest and provide a stepping stone for them into the working world. Yeah. So then secondly, the curriculum gives sufficient time and opportunities to explore interests. I guess it due to the flexibility of the curriculum, and even myself on an accelerator program, I still have quite a lot of time to to do other side projects as well as play sports. And I know many of my peers also engage in some other maybe research attachments or even part-time internships during their time while studying, and that's definitely very possible in our program. And lastly, the small size cohort. So the profs are very accommodating, especially for myself. I felt that I think I had to go through a lot of I had a lot of difficulties trying to fit my 4 years into 3 years, but most of the profs are very, very accommodating. They allowed me to be more flexible on my timetable and the modules that I take. So I think that was something that I was very grateful for. And I felt was only possible because the cohort was so small. Yeah, and there's more chances to know them well, like to speak to the profs. And it's a very nice close cohort. Like you actually know everyone. If you see them around school, you will know, oh, okay, this is someone from MSE, you're saying to them. Yeah, and we get chances, because of the rotation of group work, we get chances to work with quite a lot of different people across the cohort. And because of the small cohort, we are very niche cohort with very niche skill sets when we enter into the working world. So I think that really provides a benefit for us. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of my presentation. If you have any further questions regarding anything I talked about, you can DM me on Instagram. I mean, you can find me on LinkedIn too, but I'm a very casual person, so you can just DM me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. I think there's a very strong commitment for you to put in your personal Instagram, right? So that is nice. It's great. So actually, I'm pretty curious. Like, I know you are on an accelerated program, right? 3 years, right? And you're still doing a lot of things, right? You're staying in the hall and you are doing outreach for your, I think your JCs, right? Or is it something else, right?
Scholars, yeah.
Yeah, e-scholars, sorry. So, I'm pretty curious, how do you manage your time? Because I think Jody is one of our top students. So I'm pretty surprised, like how can you squeeze the time for our course?
That's a good question.
Not a good question.
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
I think one thing that has definitely allowed me to do this is the flexibility of the program, because like I think what you mentioned, there's a lot of the lectures and tutorials are recorded and are online. So like I don't really go physically. Don't know that's the best advice, but I like to like go home and watch it instead. So I watch everything on like 1.5 times speed. Yeah, so like kind of save time. Then I think it also saves time from like traveling up and down to school. Yeah, so I think that's one thing that really helped me. And
So
I think about other projects,
is material science the one of the courses that provides the webcast? I'm not sure.
I think a lot of engineering courses provide webcasts, but I'm not very sure.
I think Jia Jun was saying that business doesn't do that, right? The webcast.
Yeah. It really depends on the prof. Some profs,
yeah.
Okay, understand.
Yeah, I think even like science, I took a module in science. They had webcasts, but you have to turn up for lecture for like attendance or something. Yeah, so I thought that wasted a lot of time. Yeah.
I see.
I think you get to like choose what you want to listen to. And
okay, great.
Yeah, so I think
thank
you. Do other stuff.
Yeah, thank you, Jody. So I think that's really great, interesting. Let's move on to the last part, which is the student life. Right. So may I invite all the panelists to unmute? Okay, so this is more of an open discussion right now. So perhaps I will ask the first question for those who haven't answered. Why did you choose material science, NUS? I think Jody and Jia Jun has already mentioned this. So anyone wants to take on this? This is quite a bad question actually. Anyone wants to share?
Okay, maybe I start first.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Quentin. I'm currently a year 2 student in the middle of my summer intern as well. So I chose MSE because I wanted to make the most out of my, I want to do something where I'm able to contribute and shape the future of like Singapore or the world. Just want to be able to have an impact. And since my results weren't very, very good from JC, so I just barely made it to uni. I wanted to find something that will make my 4 years here very fruitful, so that when I go out to work and find a job, I'll really be able to have an impact on the world. That's just my take on it.
Of course, Quentin has been doing really well in our course. I think you're doing quite well for our course actually. Okay, so anyone else wants to share why you choose material science? If you are shy, it's okay. Yeah, okay.
I could go next. Hello everyone. My name is Sarthak. I'm an year 2 MSc student, and I guess I'm taking a second major in the innovation and design pathway. So to address why I actually chose MSc, for me it was a how to say a rather systematic process. We kind of funneled in to like a few options. So I knew for sure that I had to do engineering because that's where my inclination was towards. And then I was kind of aware and exposed to how your options really open up once you have secured an engineering degree. And then now between the other engineering disciplines, so I wasn't really interested in mechanical. And at the time of like graduating from JC, circuits used to give me a headache, so I eliminated electrical and mechanical. And I think more or less after the filtering, it really came down to computer engineering and MSE. So in MSE, I had to do my own due diligence and really read up more about it, and then attend these open talks. I was actually on the other side of the screen, or a few years back. So that's when I like learned more about MSc, and I realized that there is exposure in the physics, chemistry, bio, and computer science and computing fields within MSc itself. And MSc really, there's a focus on like materials, which are the fundamental building blocks of like many engineering applications. So I felt like it is quite an important degree, because that's when, and also it's general enough for you to really branch out and specialize into something moving down the line, where when you really develop where your interests lie. So yeah, that was my thinking coming into MSc.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned that you are doing some IDP. Do you want to explain more about IDP? What's IDP about?
IDP. So IDP is one of the three pathways. So to my knowledge, one of them is the professional practice pathway. Second one is the research focus pathway, and the third one is innovation and design pathway. So the IDP program is a double major program, and along with your MSc modules, you get to do a few modules in, say, innovation and design, which there's a focus on design thinking, and there's a very project-based kind of approach. So I think there's also this 112 MC. I think one of the key milestones of this whole IDP program is this one design project, which accounts to a total of 12 modular credits. So that really covers, it's a 2-semester long module. And in that, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to find a problem and apply your design methodology, which you cover in your first year, and then really ideate towards a solution to the problem at hand. And it's not really restricted to MSc. It could be in any field, and you'll be working with other students from this IDP pathway from across different engineering. But actually, I am in the midst of this project right now, and I can't help but think that the skill set that I have managed to develop in MSc has actually helped me contribute better to this design project in a way, because you do know a little bit of many things. So you're able to contribute to discussions, you're able to really come up with meaningful solutions, and you have like this kind of a interesting perspective to like discussions in a way. And another thing which I would say has really helped me during MSc was this the kind of research skill I picked up due to all the lab modules. Like you read up more, you go through research papers, you understand the concept at a better depth, and that's what really helps me pick up new engineering concepts along the way. So that's how it has helped me in IDP. And if you're interested in finding out more about the IDP program, you could always look it up on the NUS engineering website. They have a breakdown of what is expected from the program and what is the distribution over the subsequent semesters, for example.
Okay, thank you. I think this is wonderful. It means that you are able to have different, friends with from different background, right? Coming together in one place, sharing ideas, and being a material science, you can contribute in terms of material perspective, right? That's wonderful. I think that's a wonderful degree that you can go for. So I think we do not have much time, so I'll probably ask the last question and we open the floor for Q&A. The last question, okay? So the last question is, what does it feel like being a first-year student when you were a first-year student? Or I think Tran, you are a first-year student now. Do you want to share your experience?
So the question was, how does it feel like, right, to be a first year?
How do you feel like being the first year?
For me, I think for first year student in MSc, it has been a very eye-opening experience, I would say, because in the first year you are expected to cover all the faculty requirement across. You are getting exposed to many of the different disciplinaries. You get to learn all the chemistry, physics, and you also get exposed to all the coding modules. So that really give a good exposure into like engineering. And I think to me it's really a good time for me to just explore more and see what I really want to branch into. Yeah. So far I think it has been a very good journey. Yeah, as a first year.
Okay, that's great. That more is coming next year. All
Yes.
right. Then how about Corinne? You want to say anything, Corinne?
I remember during my first year, I was actually quite nervous because you don't know what to expect, especially since JC to uni, but also because I didn't study in Singapore, I studied overseas. So it was quite a drastic change to be able to adapt to NUS system and the Singapore education system as well. And then, but thank God, MSc was a small cohort and everyone was willing to help each other out. So really, really thankful to have MSc profs as well as MSc friends. And then from year one, it was really more of getting to know what's around you, being able to adapt. And then year two was more of, okay, now I sort of already know what NUS MSc is about and everything, and then trying to focus onto what I want. Yeah.
I see. That's great. So where were you doing your
Oh, I was studying in Dubai.
Dubai? Oh, I
Yes.
see. So you transferred to NUS or
No, so I did
you completed your
yeah, I
hello.
studied in Dubai from primary 3 all the way. Yeah.
Wow. So it's going to be very tough for you. I mean, it's going to be very tough for you, right?
Yeah, it
for your
was quite
first year,
tough at first, yes.
I see. Okay, that's great. I think, but you survived well, I guess.
I guess.
Right. So anyone else wants to contribute to this question? Like, why is it? How does it feels like being a first year student? I mean, most of you are second year students, so you all should have already have the taste.
I think it's no difference from how we are feeling now.
So how do you feel now?
Because first year is your time to explore. Although second year you explore more. You just go and like fix your time management, find something that works for you to some form of motivation and carry you through school life. Yeah. And like just go and make friends. First year I was just quite awkward. Just introduce myself to everybody, just get to know everybody. Then second year when you know everybody, then you go and explore other things, like what you really want to do in your life.
I see. So can I say that so in MSc, do you all form very close friends, or I'm not sure? Because for me, I was a student, undergrad here before, so I did have a very good friends with me. Even after I think 12 years later on, we are still meeting up and having fun together, even though we are now in, I think, phase 2, right? Going back to people, right? So do you all agree that, I'm not sure, do you all agree that you all form a very good friends when you're doing your first year?
I think first year you cannot really tell. It's only when you go to second year, when you start taking the second year lab modules, then you can tell who are the real good friends, who are those you're just normal tier friends, and who are those you don't want to be with at all. Every cohort got people like that one.
Wow, okay. That's nice. Okay.
If I could add, then
Yeah.
I think in our time we had the whole orientation camp thing. So if that does go through this time around, I would encourage people to join it, because that's where you actually form your orientation group in a sense, and like it starts from a single conversation, but then over the time which kind of leads up to your start of university, you get to know each other better. You go out for meals now, that is not permitted because of the new regulations, but you get to know each other prior to the start of university, and that group, like, you can help each other over the years. And I do know a few of my MSc friends who are still very, very close with their initial group they started with. So it is a small cohort, but even within that, you can make very, very close friends over the years. That's what I feel. Yeah.
That's great. I
Don't
think
worry, if you miss it, never mind. I also didn't go for the orientation, but I know everybody.
Well, of course, I went for the orientation. I'm still friends with them Okay.
okay.
Pretty good friends, okay, pretty good friends, but I don't think we are able to do that. Anyway, I would like to keep it short. So I think we overshot the scheduled time by 6 minutes. So I'd like to open the floor to Q&As. So if the audience, if you have any questions regarding material science, could be student life, could be the curriculum, could be a research opportunity, or how can we do a double major or something, please feel free to ask. Okay, feel free to ask. So we will have about maybe we open, we'll do it until like 45, 8 minutes for you all to ask any questions you want to.
Oh, there's one in the chat though.
Yep.
How MSE graduates utilize their knowledge when they go into banking. Prof, Dai, you want to answer that one because you're typing halfway.
Yeah.
No worries, you can just answer. We can.
I was
answer
thinking
it.
I would type it, and then I thought maybe I'd say it. But basically, this is analytical thinking and problem solving skills, which you sort of pick up as you go through an engineering course. So that's really why they do well in banking. You're not going to need to know about nanometers in banking, but the thought process of how you solve a problem is really the skills that they look for.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it as you go through an engineering course, but you are picking up a lot of soft skills that are important to your future, and that's why you can adapt to different career opportunities in the future.
Yeah. Anyone wants to add on to this, Ben?
Oh, I think I echo what Professor Dan has said. I think the end of the day, right? I mean, when you go out to a career, what people look for is the ability to solve problems for them, right? That's essentially why you kind of get paid. And also at the same time, you may also want to solve some problems for the environment, for example, through some startups. So the engineering degree, and specifically material science, right? Because Dan has pointed out earlier that we really sit at the heart of a lot of different engineering disciplines, in the sense that almost all engineering disciplines need materials, right? We ourselves are made of biomaterials, which we teach a class, with Vincent and biomaterials. Everything that you touch today, whether it's a laptop, whether it's intelligent or not, it relies on materials, right? So having that understanding, a fundamental understanding of materials and material science, allows you to get a deeper appreciation, and all these skills that we teach you, whether it's the labs, whether it's doing industrial attachment, or whether it's from other majors, you're able to integrate, because the material science and engineering curriculum allows you the ability to adapt and integrate all this knowledge together in your own way, right? And that's something quite unique, I think, about material science and engineering, right? I mean, for example, myself, I'm actually trained as an electrical engineer. Actually, my degrees were in electrical engineering, but end of the day, I chose to pursue a faculty position in material science, because I think that the challenges that we face today, a lot of technological challenges, will come from materials, and it's a great degree program, I think, for the future, right? To really prepare you for the rapidly changing economy, right? Labor supply and all this is a very different world 4 years from now, right? So you want to have the ability to future-proof, right, your career, and I think MSc does give you that advantage, I think.
Yeah, totally, I agree. Okay, I think we have another questions coming in. So anyone wants to add on to the first question? No one? Okay, great. So the second question, right here. So I was wondering if there are still lab opportunities for lessons, as there is COVID-19 at this moment. So I think perhaps I can answer this. So once you come in for the next semester, right? So we have prepared a module that consists of lab component. So there is still a opportunity for you to conduct the lab sessions physically. So how we'll do it is that we'll make sure there is the safety regulation will be in place to make sure everyone is safe. So we have reduced the number of people, the students in the lab. Basically, no worries, right? So we will do our best to keep everyone safe. Okay.
Maybe the students here can comment, because they did the labs last year, right? They were still able to get into the labs. Maybe some of them might have some comments on that.
Yeah, we should have more physical lab sessions. Like, I find that the lab session is where you really learn the most. And we also, I think we also want to know whether we get physical lab sessions next semester or not, because of the recent news that came out. Yeah.
Currently, we are still planning a physical lab session. Yeah, you're not going to run away from the 3111. That's the worst module, I guess. Right.
Oh no.
Yeah,
we sort of
yeah.
have backup plans of videos and things.
Yeah,
but
we have the
really want to get as many students as possible still in the lab. We didn't close the lab completely, even at the beginning of the semesters. Fortunately, the shutdown was during a period when we didn't have labs, but we would do everything we can to keep the labs, even if it means only half of the lab group goes in 1 week and another half goes in next week, something like that. We'll do what we can to keep them open.
Okay, so anyone else wants to share their experience or the answers? Okay, if not, I think we have a very quiet audience. All right, I think I'll ask this question, just one last question on behalf for the audience. So for those for our panelists, do you think that material science is more towards physics or chemistry or biology, which is a bit strange, right? So what do you think? Is material science more related to chemistry, physics, biology, or everything? I'm not sure, right?
For
Or
the
anything
first
else?
year students, for year one, it'll be a lot of physics and chem. Yeah, and year two or towards the end of year one, you will start to see where the bio component comes in. Because the basis is still based on a lot of physics and chemistry. And when you as you learn and you see how all three sciences are linked together, then that's where you really get the understanding of like how material science is like in the real world. Yeah, and don't worry, you don't need to have like A-level physics and H2 physics and chem knowledge to do very well. You can come in without like H2 physics, H2 chem knowledge, and you still can do very well. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to respond to this question?
I think I'll add on a bit. I think after like year two, so you move on to like technical electives, it becomes like a pick your path kind of thing. So if you choose to specialize in like, or you pick your technical electives that are like more like polymers and stuff, then I guess you get more chemistry. If you do like electronic properties and stuff, then it's physics and a lot of math. And if you go into like biomaterials, then I guess you have more bio. So you have that flexibility to pick what you want based on your interests and your strengths. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I think we have. Okay, so we have one last, I think, question from the audience. Anyone wants to add on to this chemistry, physics, biology? No? Okay, great. So we have a question from the audience. So the question is, how small the cohort size is, right?
Ours, 70.
I think it's really hard to give.
No, ours is 70 students
Okay.
on matriculation that year. Yeah, and the batch after, I think trans batch is 34 students or so.
34?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the things that we want to know more is, what do you think about the ratio, like teachers to student ratio? What do you think? Is it a good? Is it a good number? What do you think the student to teachers ratio is? What do you feel? Is it going to be 10 is to 1, or like 10 students to one teacher, or less than that or more than that?
Actually, it's quite good. If
Quite
you,
good.
if you think of the
Quite
you think of the
heavy, yeah.
number, yeah, you got more time to interact with the students. Like that little bit of social element really makes it easier to understand what's going on.
I think perhaps I can ask Jia Jun, because she's doing the business course. I think as compared to business, what do you think is it better or worse, the student to teacher ratio? Do you get to see your lecturers or prof often? Contact them?
Yes, we just I think across all NUS profs generally are quite nice. So if we email them to ask them for consultation, but over Zoom, most of them agree to do that. So I did manage to do that with my business prof also. But of course, you're only given like a 10-minute slot. So this 10-minute slot, you have to ask all the questions because there's only one prof for like, I think 200 to 300 students in the module. So also like first come, first serve. So if the lecturer blasts the email, you have to be very quick to book your slots. Yeah, but I think maybe for MSc, because smaller cohort, I think it'll be easier to manage. Yeah.
Anyone else wants to say about?
As the cohort gets larger, the labs become harder to run.
Yeah.
So there's less hands-on experience.
Yeah.
I think for us, somewhere 60 to 80 is actually a very nice size. Last year was a bit low. We had one year was over 100, and that becomes a bit too many. So sort of 60 to 80 is a nice size for the department of our size.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I guess anyone else wants to add on? If not, I think I think we have a long morning already.
Yeah, if y'all got anything, can send to the Instagram account. I think I sent it in the chat. Y'all can go and DM the account. And
Instagram account.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can get back to you, I guess.
So I hope everyone has the Instagram account.
It's
Hey, you
nus.materials. Yeah,
Have you sent?
Are
Oh,
you
okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is the Instagram account.
Okay, yeah. All right, so okay, so sorry. All right, so if there's no other questions from the audience, we will end this off. All right, we also have the Telegram group. So take note, we have a Telegram group. It's in our chat now. It's in our chat.
So turn on the chat and then you can actually see it.
Turn on the chat, go in, click on it. Okay. So I think if you have any question, if you feel like shy right now, because we have a lot of people here, you can ask us, PM us. We are in the Telegram. Okay. I think if you are more comfortable with this. All right. So if there's nothing else, I guess that's basically it. Anything else? Do you want to add on anything?
That's great, and I hope you found the session very enjoyable, and I wish you all have a very good weekend. Meanwhile, please do stay safe. I'd like to thank really all our panelists here today for their time in sharing their experiences. It's really nice to see all of you here. And I'd like to thank Vincent and Professor Dan Blackwood also, right, for really helping to make this session a success for everyone. All right, and so we look forward to seeing you at MSc, and hopefully you'll be one of the highest paid CEO, right, with NUS MSc degree.
Yeah, but
right?
What we really want is you to become highest paid CEO and then do an endowment to MSc.
That's right. Yeah, you can even name some of our labs after your name, when you say.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
Thanks.
Great. So I think that's it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah, take care. Bye. 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 Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye. Thanks. Say thank you. Bye. Do you have any questions you want to ask me? No? Okay. Let's stop.